Welcome in Zolder in Belgium for the opening round for the European VW Funcup 2014. This is the Belgian Open Race and we'll talk to the reigning champion.
Philippe Crosset, début de saison.
Philippe Crosset, a new start of the season as a reigning champion, but in very emotional circumstances. Yes, really, we've lost our mentor. Michel Simul is still revalidating in the hospital. He makes progress every day, small progress, but it's better than expected. But we have him in our minds, and we hope we will come back, and he will come back at the end of the season. You've also changed the name of the team. Yes, well, the team is as well as Victor's and Michel's, so we called it Colson Racing for Michel Simul.
Colson Racing by Simul.
And while Philippe Crosset is preparing himself for the qualifying race, rain is coming down over Zolder, new for this year, this 1 hour qualifying race. And on pole, it's Fred Bouvy.
Voilà, c'est reparti. On espère que.
Yeah, well, we've started well here. The qualifying race, we're on pole. Okay, it's raining, but that's okay for us. So pole position to start, that's not too bad. Absolutely. The 274, Fred set the time for the pole position. So pole position to start for a sprint race, that's a good thing. And here's the start of that sprint race, warming up lap, a 1 hour race to determine the starting grid for the 5 hour race later that day. Problems for the 310. And we're off for the qualifying race with Fred Bouvy leading the pack. In front of Crosset and Manu Nava. And in the red car from Leader Racing, Gerald Terrapin, the former Supermoto champion. And watch the McDonald's car in front of us, losing grip and getting sideways. And the car is hit by another car. Meanwhile, Fred Bouvy is still leading the pack. And here is the Otto KSC Italian VW Funcup, cutting the chicane without a problem. Driving with 274. Fred Bouvy, experienced driver. Multiple Belgian champion, multiple winner of the Spa 24 hours as well. And then there's a code 60 for that crash in the opening lap. The McDonald's car gets back to the pit lane, but the other car is far worse off.
Christophe Moors.
Christophe Moors, it's a difficult start of the season for the 316. Well, yes, at the start I was a bit squeezed between two other cars, and right in front of us the McDonald's spun and the other cars could avoid him left and right, but I had nowhere to go, so I hit the car and our car was too damaged to continue. The left front wheel torn off, it's a bit difficult to continue indeed. Green flag then, and the race is on the way again with Fred Bouvy leading again from the 278. We are home racing with LVR, the Italians fighting hard to remain among the front runners. The RM Motorsport, one of the Evo 2 cars. There's 3 evolutions in the VW Funcup. The Evo 1 1800 atmospheric car, the Evo 2 with a TDI engine, and the most recent evolution, the Evo 3 with a 2-liter atmospheric car with a sequential gearbox. And those cars are leading the pack. With the 59 from AC Motorsport in the top 5. But it's very difficult to keep the car under control. Here's a 277 from the Caprasis and Cedric Bollen, just outside the top 5. And there's one diesel car edging closer to those leaders. He was in 10th position during the code 60, lost a lot of time because the car in front of him left a too big a gap, and it was not allowed to overtake, of course, during the code 60. But Gerald Terrapin is making up ground now and slowly edging towards the top 5. One of the 2-seaters, the 365, the car pass car. And then there's retirement for Fred Bouvy.
Fred Bouvy, début de course
Fred,
compliqué.
a good start, but then some problems. Yes, we had the pole, and after 2 laps I had a small gap, but then one of the drive shafts broke. But no, this is only the qualifying race, so we'll be ready for the long race of 5 hours. No problem. Meanwhile, the 59 keeps the car on the track or not. Yes, it's just avoided by the 19, and it keeps the car going. The AC Motorsport car, black flags then, because there's some problems with the noise of some cars. They are too loud during this no noise weekend, as they call it. Pit window is open. Cars coming into the pit lane, checking the speed, of course, as well. Driver change. It's all a question of getting ready for the main race of 5 hours, so this qualifying race is not that important. Leading the qualifying race is this car, the number 4 from Côté Passion, with Gilles Debru now at the wheel, and he's attacking hard. The number 40 car, one of the diesels, Allure Team number 4. And here's another Allure Team car, the 63. In that difficult first left corner, and there's a 360 spin as well. Yes, indeed. Very well recovered. And he gets underway. No damage done. Driving with the 63 now. Very difficult conditions there in Zolder. Cutting the nerve chicane. Closely followed by the 65. And here's the car in second position, the number 19 from Eric Gressens and Philippe Crosset. Eric Gressens doing his utmost best to catch Gilles Debru in the number 4. But there's no stopping Debru in these difficult conditions. He maintains the lead in his Côté Passion number 4 Funcup. And he takes the win in this first qualifying race of the season. A nice start of the season for Côté Passion. The cars get ready for the main race now.
Gilles Debru, victoire donc.
Gilles Debru, a win in this qualifying race. Yes, I was a bit surprised to see the checkered flag, because we have no clock in the car and the visibility was very poor. And above all that, our pit board was at the end of the pit lane, right in the braking zone. It was difficult to see it. So when I saw the flag, I was very surprised, but very happy. Eric Gressens, first race, second place. Yes, second, not too bad. First place would have been better, but it was impossible to catch Gilles. Difficult conditions as well. Yes, very difficult conditions. I like the rain, but I don't know why, but I was a bit difficult to drive here because some braking zones were very slippery. Gérald de Lepine, former Supermoto champion. You must like these conditions. Yes, I loved it very much. But the problem was I was blocked behind another car during the code 60, so he was driving 58 and the other was driving 60. So we lost a lot of ground, so I had to push very hard after that to recover from 10th place, but in the end I finished 4th, and I had fun. Starting grid for the main race then, 5 hours. Let's have a look at the result of the qualifying race, with the number 4 winning it from the 19 and the 65. But there were some problems with the noise in Zolder. Yes, well, it's a small problem that we had. We always have to take the noise into account when driving on a circuit. There's a weekend with noise, as they call it, when you can rise above 95 decibels. When there's weekend without noise, when you have to stay below the 95. This is one of those without noise weekends. As organizers, we took some tests with our technical partner WRT. We always stayed below the 95. We never went above the 93 even. But maybe the noise levels are influenced by the weather conditions, by the wind, by the rain. So some cars went above the 95 here. It's impossible to solve it here, but it's a small problem. But we all have to find a solution together for the end of the season. We have to take into account that these weekends without noise, as they call it, are a lot cheaper for the organizer and then for the participants as well. Yes, of course. Well, there's two things. We are a Belgian championship, so we have to drive in Flanders, the Flemish part of the country as well. There's only one track here in Zolder. And on the other hand, the weekends with noise are twice as expensive as a weekend without noise, but we're here for the fun. So we have to extend the basics of motorsport into our organization.
Belle première manche qualificative pour vous, terminé au 3e rang.
Good start for the qualifying race. You were third. Yes, well, it's Sebastian who did the main part of the work because I don't really like driving in the rain. But yes, so we're happy. We had some luck with other cars having problems. We're still third on the grid, which is a good thing.
Sur la grille, et on va essayer de faire aussi bien cet après-midi.
But then the number 4 is taken off the grid. It was one of the cars that was too loud, so it's excluded from the meeting. Meanwhile, Gerald Delepine and Manu Nava are preparing themselves for the rolling start of the 5-hour race. And it's a good start from Delepine and an even better start from Manu Nava in the silver and orange car in the 278. He takes the lead from Delepine in the 271. And Philippe Crosset in the 19 slots into third position. Here he is in the Colson Racing for Michel Simul car, the reigning champions. Closely following Gerald Delepine in the leader racing car. Difficult conditions again. A very wet Zolder. And the top 3 edging away from the others who are having some difficulties getting to grips with the first corners. Driving with Gerald Delepine. Gerald Delepine driving one of the Evo 2 cars, a diesel car then, which is 30 kilograms heavier than the Evo 3 cars. And in these difficult conditions, maybe that is not too important. Staying close to Manu Nava, the leader in the 278 car. Nava from Delepine, and then Rosset. Delepine even tries to attack, but he stays in second place for the moment. Then it's the 59 from Arnaud Cadet and Benoit Galland, AC Motorsport car. And while the 259 is towed back to the pit lane, that's one of the advantages in the Funcup. When you're coming to a halt near the edge of the track, you can always be pulled back into the pit lane. Two fights meanwhile developing in the race, one for the top 3 positions and one for the other positions in the top 5 or 6. This is one of the Allure team's cars, driving just inside the top 10. Nava still leading from Delepine and Crosset. See you after the break. Welcome back in Zolder for the opening round of the European VW Funcup, the Belgian Open race. We're almost 1 hour into this opening round, 5-hour long race, and this is the 274 driven by Lorenzo Doniacchio. He was in a good position, but then had an accident and had to retire the car. Here is the stricken 274. Damage at the front of the car, clearly.
Lorenzo Doniacchio.
Lorenzo, what happened? Well, there was a car braking a bit earlier for the first corner. It caught me by surprise. I tried to avoid it, but the wheels were blocked and I slid against it. And then the engine cuts on our car. Maybe it's out of safety or maybe it's damaged, but whatever the cause, it's retirement for us. Meanwhile, Manu Nava loses the lead to Gerald Delepine and Eric Crescents. Still a nicely packed top 3. And here the 279, the other car of LVR, with David Nevers taking the wheel. Just outside the top 10. Having some difficulties getting out of the pit lane. Oh, and there's a problem for the 40. The diesel car from the Allure team. That has to be fixed out of safety reasons, probably. And the 278 and the 2 car now fighting. 279 car, I should say, fighting for positions inside top 10 between positions 8 and 9. And right in front of that duo, there's the 44, the MTE Jack Motors car. And this is the big surprise, the Evo 1 car, the 132, almost in the top 5. The 65, one of the AC Motorsports cars. In 5th position, AC Motorsport is having a good start of the race with 2 cars inside the top 5. Good start for the 65 then. And a good start for the 271 as well.
Petite particularité, c'est que vous ne disposez pas de la même moteur.
You have another engine in your car. It's not the same engine as in the other cars, but still you're driving in front. Yes, we're driving with an Evo 2 diesel car, which normally is 30 kilograms heavier than the other cars. But here in these difficult conditions, it doesn't penalize us too much. Philippe was a bit quicker than me on some places, but I had a good race fighting with him. The 59 car then was driving in 3rd position. In 2nd place, the 277, 257 I should say, formerly the 277. They switched numbers between qualifying race and the main race. And the 19 is now leading, Crescens and Crosset, with a half a minute advantage over the 277 and just over a minute on the 59 after 1 hour racing. And then there's damage on the 278. The car that was leading the race in the early stages. Damage in front of the car.
Manu Nava, un superbe début de course.
Manu, you had a good start of the race, but then an unlucky end of that first stint. Well, yes, it was very. I had a very good fight with Philippe. He knows how to drive, so it was a clean fight. And I was very careful with the guys who we had to lap. But then it was the 3rd time I lapped this guy in about 5 laps, so he's really going slowly. And when we were close to the Villeneuve, he just blocked his brakes.
Le virage arrivait trop vite, il a bloqué sur ses freins.
And that was that. Damage on the front of the 278. Damage at the front of the 259 as well. He can continue. The 310 car, one of the 2-seater cars, while the 278 back on track now, but it has lost 13 or 14 laps, so it's out of the question that they will have a good result. And the 365, one of those 2-seaters, almost lapped now by the 19. 172, getting just inside the top 10 now, but already 6 laps behind. And then there's a small problem for the 59, who lost position in the top 5.
Que se passe-t-il?
What happened? Well, we had a problem with the drive shaft and the time to tow them back into the car. We lost a lot of time, even though the mechanics switched the drive shaft in 4 minutes. But yes, for a good result, it's a bit over. And then there's some stop and go penalties as well. Several other cars. Not for this one though. The 132 Evo 1 car from Deberzac DDS now inside the top 4, and that is a good result for these guys.
We zijn eigenlijk gewoon van in de regen te rijden.
So we're used to driving in the rain, so I know the car well now, so I tried to push a little bit more and it paid off.
Het heeft resultaat opgeleverd, dus super.
And then the dark clouds gather above Zolder. Will there be some more rain? Yes, there will be some more rain, quite heavy rain as well. Standing water now on the Zolder track, which makes conditions even more difficult. The 365 2-seater taking passengers with it during the races. The more passengers you take, the more points you get. It's a good system, especially during the 25-hour race, a very popular system as well. But it's heavy on the brakes. On the 365, I had some brake issues as well. Then the sunshine comes back, but the race is neutralized a couple of times more to tow back cars who hit the tire walls inside the Bianchi corner. No wonder, considering the difficult conditions. It was the 63 car had some issues there in the Bianchi corner. The Allure team number 3. 132 still inside the top 4 with their Evo 1 1800 cc's only in this car. A 2-litre engine in all the other atmospheric Evo 3s. So this is a very good result for this purple and white Flemish Funcup. The 277 now driving on the 257 is leading meanwhile. Civic Bolland took the lead over the 19, but you can see the difference for yourself. It's less than a second. So a good race then for the 277.
Vous avez repris la tête là.
You retook the lead just over halfway. Yeah, it was a good fight with Eric, and Eric is driving very correctly. So we had fun, both of us. Two car, one of the diesels in the race in second position in its category, and just outside the top 5, right behind this car, the MTA Jack Motors, which in its turn is only a couple of seconds behind the 132. 271 leading diesel category, the Leader Racing Funcup. Car in second position, reigning champions Jose Agrescens, and the 277 Allure team with the Bolt, Capraces and Bolland. 279 car coming in with Lionel van der Kamp, paraplegic driver, but that doesn't bother him. This car is especially adapted to his needs, and he's a very competitive driver. Meanwhile, there's a good fight going on between a couple of 2-seater Funcups as well.
Alain Dupont, belle bagarre.
Alain Dupont, good fight with the 371, and you're inside the top 10 as well, but especially the win in the 2-seaters category interests you. Yes, indeed, we're fighting hard with the 371 now. One time it's them in front, and then it's us. It's very, very close, but it's really fun. And here's the 44 in the top 3 now.
De auto rijdt eigenlijk top.
The car is driving fantastic. We hope we can stay until the end now. It's less than an hour now to go. One driver change, so we hope to finish in this position. The number 2 car finishes in 5th, second of the diesel category. A steady race rewarded by a good result. And a good result as well for these guys. The 132, the Evo 1 Funcup, finishes in 4th, right behind, 10 seconds only behind these guys. The MTE Jack Motors winner in the diesel category, the 271 of Leader Racing, and second overall as well, behind the reigning champions, winners of this first race, Eric Gressens and Philippe Grosset. Take an emotional win for Colsa Racing, for Michel Simul. They have over 2 laps in hand. So a very steady race rewarded by the first win of the new season.
Stéphane Lemray,
Stéphane Lemray, you won the 2-seater diesel category, but it was a difficult race. Yes, it was very difficult. We had some brake issues, the same issues we had last year during the 24-hour race. It's a bit strange because those issues disappeared during the final races of last year, but now they have reappeared. So we don't understand why, but still we won the category, so that's a good thing.
Oui, bref, on gagne la catégorie, hein, c'est bien. Hein?
And you get a nice cup for that as well. Winning the diesel category and second overall, the 271.
Terminé deuxième du classement général, vainqueur de la catégorie, c'est plus qu'inespéré.
C'est super cool.
It's very cool, yes, for my teammates Hakim and Jean-Luc as well. We've driven very well. The team did a great job. We had the rain, and that was in our favor, but still we could fight for the first place, which was incredible. So I had a lot of fun today, yes.
Coéquipier aussi, voilà, c'est super.
And champagne for the 271, but minutes later the car was disqualified for a technical infringement. So no podium for those guys then.
Jean-Michel Barthes, une victoire.
Jean-Michel Barthes, you won the 2-seater category. That must be a good thing.
J'imagine très heureux.
Yes, we are very happy, especially since we entered the Funcup for the fun, not for the cup, but now we have the cup, so we are very happy.
Et bravo les gars. Hein.
Eric Gressens.
Eric Gressens, a first win of the season, it must be a very emotional win as well. Yes, very emotional. It's our first race without Michel. It's hard, but we're happy for him, for us. We are very happy with this. How was your race then? Yes, it was an almost perfect scenario. A safety car who brought us all back together. And then, unfortunately, some of our adversaries had some problem with the noise. And champagne as well to end this first weekend of the Funcup. A great race in Zolder. Next race is in France on the track of Dijon-Prenois. While we have a look at the final results, Colson Racing winning this first race from Leader Racing and MT Jack Motors. That was it from Zolder. See you next time.